Welcome. Welcome to the convocation of the University of Ontario Institute of Technology. Directly following the ceremony, there will be a reception across the street at 61 Charles, which is directly east of this building. Could you please stand for the entry of the procession and remain standing for our national anthem?
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Please be seated.
Dansez, bonjour, je m'appelle Deborah Michel Saucier. Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Deborah Michel Saucier and I'm the Provost and Vice President Academic here at the university. I would like to welcome you to the home of the Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation, Miigwech. Chancellor Beatty, ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, including those who are joining us through the live webcast, we offer our warmest welcome to all of you. I hereby declare that the 2015 convocation of the University of Ontario Institute of Technology is now in session. We gather this afternoon to celebrate the graduates of our Master of Arts and Bachelor of Arts programs. Let us all take great pleasure in the accomplishments of these graduates and urge them to remember their time here at the university with fondness. May our proceedings reflect the warmth and dignity of the occasion. Cogitando et agindo ducamus. By thinking and doing, we shall lead. I will now call upon our president, Dr. Tim McTiernan, to address convocation.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. Parents, brothers and sisters, relatives, friends, supporters of our graduands. And thank you, graduands, for being here. This afternoon celebrates and acknowledges your accomplishments and your achievements. And in a few short moments, you'll cross over a portal from being graduates to being graduates, to join the broader University of Ontario Institute of Technology family and become one of, by the time you have graduated this afternoon, 12,000 alumni who have studied with us and who have remained engaged with our community that has grown so large in over just 12 short years. There is a tradition in many cultures and in many communities across our wide and vast country to set an extra place at the table to honor those who could not make the celebration for whatever reason. It is a good tradition, and let us start that tradition this afternoon by setting a symbolic place at the table for those who had to work and couldn't make it here, for those who have been lost to us and can't make it here, for those who are traveling or couldn't travel such a long distance and can't make it here. Let us honor that tradition with a moment's silence. This is an afternoon of recognition and celebration in what has been a week of celebrations in Oshawa, primarily around our convocations at the University of Ontario Institute of Technology, but also from a community perspective. This is the home of the Oshawa Generals. And at the beginning of this week, the Oshawa Generals brought home the Memorial Cup with a community celebration. The Generals have a pretty good history, and we're glad of it, because in the Greater Toronto Area, bringing home hockey cups isn't a regular occurrence. When I was driving home after the Memorial, and the afternoon, I have to admit it was on the afternoon of the parade for the Memorial Cup, I was listening to the CBC, and there were two commentators, and the older of the two commentators said, did you know that Bobby Orr played for the Oshawa Generals? And the person with the younger voice said, no, I didn't actually, I had no idea. What a great hockey player. And in a sense, the discussion, the backwards and forwards caught, I think, what this university is all about. Bobby Orr got his start in Oshawa. He represents excellence. He was a star in his field, and his success started here. And for all of you who individually and collectively represent a powerful display of competence, of commitment, of perseverance and achievement, your success, your journey through careers, your journey in building families and in building communities, in building a Canada of the future that is more attentive to justice, more attentive to inclusion, more attentive to social equity, more attentive to well-being in health, economic, cultural, and quality of life terms for all. Your contribution to that, and you will make a contribution in many different ways, starts here. You're the Social Sciences and Humanities faculty of the University of Ontario Institute of Technology. You have probably had conversations, as I have had conversations, with people who've heard about our university and doesn't know much about the university. And inevitably, the emphasis will be on the word technology and on the implications and intonations and connotations of that term in terms of science, in terms of engineering, in terms of digital apps. I am absolutely comfortable that you are graduating with a degree of technological sophistication that your peers in other institutions may not have. But you're not graduating because of technology, and you're not graduating necessarily into technological careers. What you are is a representation of this university's overall commitment to social justice and social inclusion. A commitment that's represented in a variety of different ways, through your scholarship, through your course of study, but through this university's engagement in community projects around justice, around domestic violence, around evidence-based interventions in a whole variety of social and legal and community processes. And this university represents a commitment to working with the community and with community organizations and agencies in making our communities safer, healthier, and more inclusive and more equitable. And you have opportunities that come out of your course of study, and you have opportunities that come out of the engagements you've had as volunteers and in community placements during your course of studies. Those opportunities also carry with them responsibilities. Responsibilities that you know of because you know that you're here because you've been supported by loved ones, by family, by friends, by relatives. And you're here because your support system has carried you through the ups and downs and the ins and outs and the stresses and strains of studying. And many of you work long hours as well as study, and many of you commute long distance as well as studies. So you know what responsibility is, and you know very effectively how to give back, because you are part of a community of the University of Ontario Institute of Technology graduates that build communities because you've been supported by communities. And so let us think about ways in which we as an institution and you as members of our ongoing members of our institution can continue to build and broaden and deepen the opportunities and the equality in our communities. I think there's a reference point that was established for us earlier this week. On Tuesday, the summary report of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission was released by Justice Murray Sinclair and his commissioners. He spoke about a mountain to climb as we deal with the past and the experience of Indigenous peoples, Indigenous young people in residential schools in the past century and before that. It set out a series of challenges and a series of recommendations about how we can address reconciliation, how we can repair damaged lives and damaged communities, and how we can become a more inclusive, a more just, and a more equitable Canada. And we have an opportunity, those of us like me who are new to Canada, and those of us who come from Canadian families of long standing, to join with our Indigenous communities and to look at ways in which institutionally, programmatically, and just in terms of the way in which we engage and build our daily lives, we can climb the mountain of reconciliation that's been set out by, or defined by Justice Sinclair, and have a broader number of Canadians sit with us at tables of celebration in the future as we build our economies, build our communities, establish our sense of justice, and our sense of inclusion and togetherness. You, as our graduates, I know will contribute heavily and positively and constructively to that exercise and meet that challenge. And it is a big challenge, but the words of Arthur Ashe probably capture it well in terms of how you engage. And it's start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Miigwech, thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, President McTiernan. I would now like to present the candidate for the Honorary Doctor of Laws degree to be conferred by the University of Ontario Institute of Technology, Grantley Morris. To say that Mr. Morris is grounded in the community is to speak to both his professional career and his volunteer work. He began his working life in 1960 as draftsman at the Barbados Ministry of Transport, where he was involved in designing roads and airport infrastructure. He later joined the Natural Gas Corporation of Barbados, rising to the position of senior mains assistant and acting distribution superintendent. After immigrating to Canada in 1966, his knowledge and practical experience led to an 18-year career as senior planner with the Ontario government. He also earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in Urban Studies from York University and subsequently a Master of Education degree from the University of Toronto. In 1984, his mix of professional skill and entrepreneurial zeal resulted in the creation of his firm, Grant Morris Associates Limited, which continues to this day to provide expert advice on urban development to architects, engineers, surveyors, and landowners. In 1991, Mr. Morris was invited to join the Ontario Municipal Board as a tribunal judge, where he ruled on matters governed by the Ontario Planning Act. He has also served as a guest lecturer in university programs focused on urban studies and survey work. While his professional expertise is well known in many circles, he is perhaps best known in the Durham region for his commitment to serving others and giving back to the community. Each year at what has become known as the Caribbean event, Mr. Morris and his wife, Patricia Sammy, opened their home to hundreds of supporters and members of the Barbadian Canadian community to raise money for scholarships and financial support for students in Barbados and Canada. Through this event, along with personal contributions, Mr. Morris has also pledged an endowment targeted at $1 million to assist students in need, many of whom study here at the university. Mr. Morris is the recipient of many awards, including the Barbados Award for Philanthropy, the Harry Jerome Lifetime Achievement Award from the Black Business and Professional Association, the African Canadian Achievement Award for Excellence in Community Service, and the Pride of Barbados Award for Outstanding Excellence in the Barbados Diaspora from the Government of Barbados. Chancellor Beattie, for his outstanding philanthropic efforts and his contribution to community development in the Durham region, we are proud to confer upon Mr. Grantley Morris the honorary degree of Doctor of Laws.
On behalf of the Academic Council of the University, I hereby confer the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, and grant you all the honors, rights, and privileges appertaining thereto. Congratulations. Very well done.
I now call on Dr. Morris to address convocation.
Okay, Roger. Keep your surgical gloves.
Chancellor Beatty, President McTiernan, Provost Saucier, members of the Platform Party, the Honorable Ainsley Benn, Consul General for Barbados at Toronto, members of the Caribbean Event family, students, and honored guests. Let me also recognize the following who flew in from Barbados: Anne and Ken Hewitt, my brother Robert, George Gobing, who came in from Fort Lauderdale, my beloved daughter Suzanne and her significant other, Reynaldo Lowe, who flew in from Atlanta, Neva Grant and Beverly, who came in from Ottawa, and my better half, who has been responsible for providing the backup admin work for all the things that I do. My brother Roger is also here, and my cousin Victor and family, and the Strawn family, and of course my ex-wife, Jean Kinch Morris. Let me begin by offering the university my heartfelt thanks for this tremendous honor. I would now like to ask the members of the Caribbean Event family to stand. So don't think you're getting off that easily. This honor I accept with gratitude and humility, not only for myself, but on behalf of all those members of the Caribbean Event family who have supported and encouraged me and who believe in my vision of helping the needs of others, and for all those upon whose shoulders I have been able to stand all these many years. You know, I thought I would have been able to come up here, look important, put on the gown, and then sit down. But President McTiernan had other things for me. He said, but you have to address the audience. So I will give it my best shot. And I will tell you about my life's journey. I was born in beautiful Barbados, the gem of the Caribbean islands. If you've never traveled to Barbados, then you have never traveled. So make that a must on your travel list. Barbados has an area of about 166 square miles and a population today of about 270,000 people. Now, my father had high hopes for me, and he named me Grantley Einstein DeClaire Morris. I don't know what he was thinking. At the age of 5, my parents divorced, and my father took custody of myself and my two brothers. At an early age, I had the knack of being a busybody, always getting in trouble. My father was a school teacher, well known for his scholastic and teaching abilities. He has been responsible for the advancement of over 1,000 students who went on to become leaders in many of the top professions. Now, he had a leather strap affectionately known as Sugar Teacher, and I call it the Enforcer. It was used to instill discipline and the will to learn in his students. Sugar Teacher and myself were on first-name basis. We were inseparable, and Sugar Teacher enjoyed his visits with me. Growing up, we had 2 Christian housekeepers who looked after our meals and the household. My father, given his standing in the community, expected his children to be model citizens. My two brothers were, and they lived up to his expectations, but I certainly did not. Thank God my daughter Suzanne followed in their footsteps and not in my footsteps. My active nature often resulted in visits from sugar teacher, and sometimes resulting in our housekeepers praying for me to be a better person. It was at this tender age that the seed of compassion and the need to help others less fortunate were born. Later, my father remarried, and it was my stepmother who reinforced my early teachings and instilled in me the true values of life, helping others and giving back to society. She was my friend and a positive influence who often reminded me that I could do anything I set my mind to do. And she taught me to believe in myself and be positive. Learning was not my best subject at school, and as a result, I did not do very well, much to my father's disappointment, particularly since I had two brothers whose academic performance displayed their superior intellectual capacity. My eldest brother, Roger, is a graduate of McGill with a BA BCom, and he's also CGA. My brother, Robert, is a U of T grad with a master's in economics and an MBA. My daughter is a grad of Howard University in communications and with a law degree from the University of Pennsylvania. My cousin Victor, who grew up with us in our household, holds a degree in political science from York University. So you can understand that I had to do something, notwithstanding that my father said to me that my head was hard. So, my first job after leaving school, I was proud of my two O-level subjects, scripture and history. What can I do with those two subjects? Well, my father decided that I was going to become a mechanical engineer. Didn't know what that was. And I started with a salary of $6.34 per month. But this was not my calling. And 3 months later, I took matters into my own hands, and being at the right place at the right time, I accepted the job to be trained as a civil engineering draftsman by one gentleman who was also a civil engineer, and he was one of my father's pupils. My starting salary was $30 a month. Now I was going places because that was the same salary that my two brothers started with A-level subjects. I enjoyed the challenge and worked very hard in this new position, resulting in my boss sending me on a scholarship to the Barbados Technical Institute, where my performance demonstrated that there was hope for me after all. Upon completion of the course, my boss attempted to have me reclassified, and this was to no avail. And with his blessing, I accepted a job as the junior maintenance assistant of the Natural Gas Corporation at a starting salary of $140 per month. Within 3 years, I was promoted to the position of senior maintenance assistant at the age of 24, and I was the third executive of the company, and with a starting salary of $360. My father at that time was making $320, so that will give you some idea of how he felt about his hard-headed son. I worked hard at my job, which I enjoyed immensely. I joined the Barbados JCs, and for the first time I understood the true meaning of service to humanity and giving back to society. I made the mistake of leaving Barbados on long leave and going to Canada. Upon my return to Barbados, I realized that my calling was Canada after all. And so I packed up, left the comfortable bosom of my homeland in search of the unknown. I came to Canada with a will to succeed, a positive mental attitude, and an insatiable desire to further my education and nothing was going to stop me from achieving those goals. My first job in Canada was an intermediate draftsman with Acres Research and Planning, and 6 months after, I was promoted to planning technologist. 6 months later, I joined the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing as an assistant planner, and shortly thereafter, I was promoted to the position of area planner. I put my all into my work, and one afternoon, my boss called me into his office, and he indicated that he was happy with my work performance, but he could not promote me without a degree. I could do the work, but you don't have the piece of paper to say you can do it. Didn't understand that. Well, he made me an offer, and he said to me, if you go to the university, we will pay for your courses. So I went part-time, and they gave me time off during the summer. They allowed me to write all my papers in the office, and so I was at the right place at the right time. I seized the opportunity, resulting in my completing my undergraduate degree with a second class, sum cum laude, and then my master's degree with an average of 3.8, magna cum laude. By this time, the hard head had softened, and I was well on my way to upward mobility. I was appointed as senior planner, and years later, with my experience and qualifications, I applied for an opening as a manager. I got to the final interview and was asked one question by the assistant deputy minister who sat in on the interview. I don't know why he was there. And he said to me, "You come very well recommended by your peers, but I have one problem." He said, "How do you feel a white staff would respond to you as their manager?" I simply responded by looking him straight in the eyes, and I said, "I have a white staff now, so why should that be why should there be any problems with that?" But I knew at that point I was not going to get that job. I was disappointed, and the power of positive thinking came to my rescue. This was my sign to move on, and I silently thanked the deputy minister for pointing me in the right direction. About a year later, I tendered my resignation, much to the distress of my director, who tried her best to dissuade me from leaving. She was genuinely concerned for me until I assured her that I had a number of contracts lined up with substantial monetary gain. About 6 years later, into my consulting practice, I was invited to serve as a member of the Ontario Municipal Board as a tribunal judge by the Lieutenant Governor and the Premier of Ontario, without applying for the job. I served for 4.5 years in this prestige position before returning to private practice at the request of one of my clients. I recall my first day at the OMB. One of the vice chairs walked into my office and said, "Welcome home, Grant. If there's anything I can do to help you, please call me. Here are my telephone numbers. Here's my husband's telephone number." And so I decided, but she also said to me that if there's anything that I need, make sure and call. She was one of my former directors at the ministry, and she was the one who recommended me for the job, and she never said that to me, but I knew she was the person. So you never know what is going to happen to you along your journey. Now, I want to tell you a story. But before doing that, I'll tell you that after I left the board, I decided to dedicate the balance of my life to giving back to the community and serving the needs of those less fortunate in society. I founded the Caribbean Event Family, and we provided scholarships to deserving youth and last year we were able to give out 17 scholarships, with the same students receiving a scholarship each year. So our policy is that we want to see you through university. We're not going to give you and then forget about you. Our pride and joy is our medical student, a single mother who had no money and who lived on sugar and water during her first year at university. But with the help of a newfound guardian who helped her with her school fees and with a yearly scholarship from the Caribbean event of $5,000 per year, she earned, about 2 years ago, she earned her Bachelor of Medicine degree and an MBBS, which is a Bachelor of Surgery. Now, what is interesting is that her mother cannot read or write. Now, during her first year at university, she began to hemorrhage, and she was told by the doctor that she had a miscarriage. And the doctor told her to come back within 2 weeks, and we'll clean you out. She went back only to find that she was still pregnant. Would you believe that she was carrying a twin? She faced it head on, and she called her guardian in Barbados and gave her the news. She said, "The Lord has given me this child, and I shall keep him. I know you're disappointed in me, but there is nothing in this world that will stop me from becoming a doctor and helping others. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I know I will succeed." Herein lies the power of believing in oneself and the power of positive thinking. Computer labs. This year, the Caribbean event has embarked upon a program of setting up computer labs in the Caribbean to assist underprivileged children in particular. This has been made possible by Christian Pardy, who is here today, who felt that his company of his employment was updating their computers every 2 years, and rather than destroy them, they could be put to good use. And again, the Caribbean event was at the right place at the right time, so we seized the opportunity. Today, we have shipped computers to Grenada and St. Lucia, and we will be shipping to St. Vincent and Barbados shortly. We need monitors, computer mice, and keyboards, so we are sourcing these. So any help we can get, we'll take it. Now, I want to leave you students with some guiding principles. Remember that in every adversity lies the seed of the equivalent benefit, Nathaniel Hill. In other words, in every negative situation, there is a positive. Spend your time looking at the positive solutions to your problems. Do not waste time on negative thinking. Surround yourself with positive people. Believe in yourself and the power of positive thinking, and that will be your guide. Always give back to society and your alumni without expecting anything in return. Work hard at your chosen profession, treat others with respect, be polite to others, and do not let anyone walk over you. Always lend a helping hand to others. Be a leader and not a follower. Seize opportunities, for an opportunity lost can never be regained. Strive for excellence. If a job is worth doing, then do it well. Your word must be your bond. Serve with integrity and never deviate from this principle. Be innovative, think outside the box, and dare to dream. Remember that life is but a journey of trials and tribulations. You never know where your journey will take you. Be ready for new challenges, new directions, but do not afraid to follow your own instincts. To the graduating students, congrats, and may I offer you every success in your chosen fields as you embark upon this next important phase of your journey. May God bless you and the University of Ontario Institute of Technology. Let me close with a simple reminder that the brotherhood of man transcends the sovereignty of nations, and that service to humanity is the best work of life. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Morris. Emeritus is an honorary title bestowed upon a professor who has made substantial contributions to the successful operation of the university, the discipline, or the community as a whole. I now invite Dr. Ron Hinch to stand and be recognized. And I'm going to go a little off script for just a sec. Ron, it is a true honor and a privilege to have worked alongside you and to count you amongst my peers. Thank you. On behalf of the university community, I hereby confer upon you the title of Professor Emeritus and grant you all the honors, rights, and privileges appertaining thereto. Congratulations. Now we get to the even better stuff. Would the candidates for the following degrees please stand? Master of Arts. Bachelor of Arts. That's the rest of you. Mr. Chancellor, as Vice Chair of Academic Council and on behalf of the Academic Council of the University, I present to you these candidates and certify that they have fulfilled all degree program requirements and have been recommended for graduation by their faculty.
On the recommendation of the Academic Council of the University, I hereby confer upon these candidates the degrees to which they've demonstrated their entitlement and grant them all the honors, rights, and privileges appertaining thereto. I call upon them, upon hearing their names, to present themselves before this convocation to receive the degree. I also confer the degree upon those who've been approved for the degree but are absent from this convocation.
Candidates, please be seated.
Candidates for the degree of Master of Arts may now approach the platform. Bailey Gummany. Nora Deco. Oh, just one? Okay. This concludes the inception of graduates for the degree of Master of Arts. Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts may now approach the platform. Adil Ahmed. Rachel Ann Alexander. Sarah Al-Ghul. Jacqueline Ellen Althoff. Sarah Alton. Michael Salvatore Amenta. Brett Austin Anderson. Carolyn Pilar Arojo. William Dennis Frederick Archer. Jenny Lucinda Mary Arnold. Anita Arokiam. Stephanie Asare. Gina O. Jolanta Obut. Laura Awad. Mushfeka Azam. Tur Bacon. Mofi Badmos. Gregory Norman Bagley. Tamika Bailey. Priyanka Ball. Shervin Barsina. Navid Barakzeh. Gordon Bateman. Samantha Rose Bates. Colleen Victoria Aaron Battersby. Shanika Monique Beckford. Jamie Bedford. Soraya Belachemi. Carmelo Belmonte. Melissa Burney. Shaleni Bagwandan. Emily Ann Margaret Byman. Nicole Kathleen Bilson. Nicole Stella Bishop. Amy Marie Blay. Trevor Irwin Bonchek. Ducharme Olivia Bonito. Christina Boselkowski. Catherine Boyd. Deji Adesanya. Mary Jane Boyle. Joanne Doreen Boys. Catherine Boys. Caitlin Danielle Brake. Cassandra Bro. Michael John Brayanis. Alex Gregory Brennan. Nolan John Broom. John Thomas Brown. Shea Alexandra Brown. Amber Brown. Nigel Christopher Bucknor. Stephanie Mary Elizabeth Burns. Amber Lynn Butts. Krista Marie Campbell. Tanya Erica Campbell Daly. Rita Elizabeth Campos. Monique Julia Canfield. Kimberly Ann Canning. Hong Ji Kao. Caitlin Kaplan. Mercedes Carter. Jean-Paul Carvajal. Andrew John Caulfield. Rosalind Emily Chalmers. Nicole Cherowich. Justin Chow. Alexandra Nicole Clare. Crystal Patrice Clark. Tyler Rakes Clark. Nicole Ann Coffey. Andrew Peter Columbos. Jordan Zupak. Hina Kareem Dar. Brian Michael Darling. Maggie Jean Darling. Nathaniel Andrew David. Jeremy Roy Bird Dawson. Christina Alicia DeVries. Elias Dermensis. Navjeet Kaur Dhaliwal. Natalie Auri Dibb. Shianugo Peter Chinwuba. Emily Taylor Dixon. Sebastiano Dignotti. Courtney Cecilia Dilnot. Deepa Dindial. Hanifia Douglas. Frank Doncor. Celine Alexa Dookie. Mukhtar Dost. Shanine Dwyer. Deborah Edwards. Nicole Andrea Edwards. Elizabeth Eisel. Stephen Elul. Claudia Altamani. Raymond Engelsman. Darren Douglas Everson. Maha Farouk. Sadan Farouk. Christina Ferrara. Christina Marie Ferreira. Anna Kim French. Wesley Peter Fichette. Ryan Fong.
My boy!
Rhea Forten. Omar Ricardo Franco. Charles Fraser. Ashley Nicole Freckleton. Sherlyn Frederick. Renisha Michelle Frimpong. Remy Galal. Matthew Galley. Amanda Gangadine. Christine Garcia. Paul John Gaulock. Colin Michael Gear. Kevin James George. Sharoon Gill. Victoria Dawn Ginsley. Nicholas Andrew Glover. Sentur Nanagat Sagaran. Melissa Marta Godfroy. Cassandra Gogos. Parham Golbahi Kukia. Rahina Goswami. Jennifer Rose Grandoni. Alicia Kristen Grant. Catherine Grant. Congratulations. Emily Greenop. Joshua Mark Gregorios. Christopher David Grohl. Patrick Gruka. Delaxi Gunabalasingham. Brett Hacker. Stephanie Leanne Hackner. Lindsay Haggerty. Erin Ann Harvey. Noreen Hassam. Jacob Lee Hayes. Andrea Henderson. Raheem Nathaniel Henry. Arvin Hernandez. Sarah Michelle Hickman. Rachel Michelle Hill. Rebecca Hines. Elvin Garcia Hezon. Eric Ho. Wesley Chunyan Ho. Aisha Hogan. Leslie Irene Holland. Alama Hussein. Connor Houston. Alicia Yin Kim Sung. Victoria Danielle Hunt. Mackenzie Hunter. Sarah Ann Hunter. Shelby Jean Hunter. John Patrick Hurst. Rabia Hussein. Leanne Yashi. Nevashath Indrakanthan. Sean Edward Inman. Asfar Islam. Nabila Islam. Evan James. Sophie Bridget Jameson. Ashlyn Marie Jardine. Durga Jagannathan. Christopher Douglas Jenkins. Labana Jayaraja. Timothy Joel. Monique Simone Johnson. Sarah Johnston. Jordan Elliott Lawrence Jones. Krishana Jordan. Michelle Juma. Sandip Kaur Kalra. Kirthana Keitha Kanathan. Vithusan Kanashalingam. Hoda Ashley Kanun. Mira Kappel. Khalid Karim. Michael Gregory Kelly. Faria Farman Khan. Wasif Kamal Khan. Afifa Kawaja. Justin Kayswetter. Esther Kim. Harkinwar Sinclair. Michael Zachary Cole. Ayush Kumar. Megan Ann Laquaniti. Tony Hoang Lam. Ryan Edward Lappin. Jacob Lau. Hannah Layla Lordson. Nicholas Lawrence. James Lee. Danielle Kelly Ann Lemko. Rochelle Lynn Lemieux. Sarah Kristen Lidstone. Uzair Lambada. Michael Robert Lisinski. Danielle Margaret Loney. Matthew William Lucchesi. Jennifer Marie Malouf. Harpreet Maan. Daniel McInnes. Michael Andre Madrigal. Mithulan Mahadevan. Zuha Majidi. Atif Malik. Tara Patricia Malloy. Jazz, okay. Jazz Paul Manawala. Damijan Alexander Mangov. Pavitha Masalamani. Chantel Shirlene Messiah. Daniel David Matthews. Amanda Mauchin. Molly Ann McCarthy. Mackenzie Ann McFarlane. Joseph David McClellan. Erica McMahon. Melissa McMillan. Lindsay McNeil. Muhammad Harris Khan. Nikki McPhee. Haley Janelle McQueen. Imran Haq Merkand. Todd Jake Millen. Nikosha Miller. Nirvana Natesha Masir. Habib Ullah Muhuddin. Brandon Robert Moncrief. Jillian Louise Morgan. Nathan, good man. Well done. Nathan Byron Morris. Jessica Lynn Morrison. Justin Maximilian Rowich. Amadshir Mumtaz. Jasmine Kaur Mundian. Jazba Munir. Murambiwa. Isabel Murambiwa. Angela Nagy. Rachi Nadondo. Danielle Ann Newlands. Kelsey Marie Newman. Jing Wen Ing. Amir Noor. Rachel Nunes. Julian O'Connor. Kelly Onofre Turkios. Richard Palkong. Usha Panchalingam. Ruchi Anakumar Pandya. Gregory Anthony Papa Constantinu. Gemma Paquette. Arandeep Parmar. Joanna Paris. Marilee Jean Perry. Kenzie Ray Pasco. Manuela Pasqua. Randy Nicole Patterson. Jennifer Peacock. Tamara Doris Ann Peterson. Trevor Pereira. Amanda Yasmin Perry. Ashley Elizabeth Prasad. Ashton Kishan Prasad. Davina Heshani Prasad. Tahira Prasad. Ann Peter Paul. Felicia Jacqueline Petrick. Nicholas Farrell. Sarah Colleen Porter. Jennifer Prashad. Magdalene Rain Proseviat. Alicia Nicole Proskos. Joshua John Quesnell. Anoje Raghunathan. Nagalaswari Rajarnatham. Kajana Rajasundaram. Mashia Raji. Michelle Ramawad. Aisha Kaiser Rana. Lindsay Ranger. Layla Elizabeth Raposo. Kanisa Ratheswaran. Sharanja Ravlachanan. Nishanthini Ravindran. Jesse Raymond. Atiya Razavi. Andreas Raybon. Michelle Amanda Reyes. Daniel Alexander Foster Robertson. Alicia Robinson. Jordan Tyler Rout. Nicholas Loring Ruck. Sarah Ashley Rush. Samantha Robin Russell. Emily Janelle Ryan. Stuart Elia Saeed. Lloyd Samuel. Diana Santua Asanti. Diana Louise Santuccio. Safa Sarwar Butt. Brent Scotland. Rudra Sigabin. Tharshana Selvakumar. Christopher Senegal Godur. Mathusha Senthil Murugan. David Alexander Serbert. Harry Brian Shannon. Mansoor Ahmad Sheikh. Cheyenne Elizabeth Shillingford. Prashan Shriram. Jordan Lincoln Simon. Gaganpreet Singh. Subhanki Sivakumar. Savanti Sivakumar Rishi. Sabrina Skakailis. Is it Smichael or Smichael? Joshua Daniel Smichael. Is it Alicia? Alicia Smith. Rebecca Ann Smith. Samantha Wynne Snetzinger. Cassandra Marie Snutch. Our Faculty Medal and Governor General's Academic Medal, Diba Somani. Dylan Suknanan. Shalini Suryakumar. Kenneth George Spence. Gajani Sriragavan. Caden David Stashu. Vanessa Carmen Stanijevich. Tiffany Elena Stoyanovsky. Christopher Stewart. Farida Sultani. Lorraine Ramya Suresh. Robert Stephen Sutton. Stephanie Kim Zabo. Randall James Taboni. Andrew Tang. Wayman Shamari Tavernier. What is it? Ruby Mufid Temraz. Pravinshanth Thanabalasingham. Ophelia Belinda Isolde Thomas. Jillian Thompson. Robert Clark Thornhill. Sarah Timmons. Matthew Lee Traxler. Andrew Trimble. Tanya Turba. Michael Upstell. Megan Marie Varty. Raji Velalagan. Nathia Velapile. Matthew Mattison Vieira. Iswaria Vijayaratnam. Saya Wadud. Edward Way. Sidra Wali. Leah Yvonne Wall. Arsalan Wancho. Gregory Allen Frederick Weller. Daniel Michael Wells. Haley Violet Francis Wheeler. Matthew Whip. Tara Statsia White. Cassandra Victoria White. Kirsten White. Cassandra Lee Wilkinson. Ashley Williams. Raquel Wilson Antoine. Casey Lynn Wirt. Pavel Voida. Heidi Elizabeth Noel Warden. Zachariah Anthony Warona. Jason Wing Hong Yang. Joshua Dean Peter Young. Brian Pengfei Zhang. Alexandra Mercedes Zittenberg. This concludes the inception of graduates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Mr. Chancellor, this concludes the inception of graduates for this convocation.
We're almost there. Far be it for me to stand too far in the way of a bunch of graduates and Friday night. Let me offer you my sincerest congratulations. Before, though, I introduce our last speaker, the Alumni Association speaker, we need to do something, and we really do. No one got here by themselves. So let's just take a moment, look to your left, look to your right, find your friends, find your mom in the audience, find your sister, find your partner. Seriously, wave. And let's all clap as loud as we can and say thank you. Thank you so much. Graduates, you are the newest members of the University of Ontario Institute of Technology alumni community. I now invite Caitlin Gambier, Faculty of Business and Information Technology graduate from the class of 2013 and a member of UOIT's Alumni Association Council, to address convocation.
My name is Caitlin Gambier, and I am from the future. That means your future. You have received your degree from UOIT, but you have also received a ticket to your future as a member of the UOIT Alumni Association. What does that future hold for you? As a member of UOIT's Alumni Council, I can simply say it gives you 4 things. First, it offers you support for your career. The UOIT Career Center will be there for you, offering advice and assistance throughout your career. You also have access to a growing and powerful network of alumni and supporters who will share their successes and opportunities. Second, it keeps you connected to your classmates throughout the years ahead. And by that I mean, because we're nothing if not practical at UOIT, It gives you access to bridesmaids, groomsmen, godparents, babysitters, and teachers, and well, all those friends and colleagues with whom we want and need to connect as we continue life's journey. Third, being an alumni has its benefits. Benefits that include discounted rates for a number of businesses and organizations, including the Campus Recreation and Wellness Center. Benefits like a lifetime UIT library membership, plus exclusive access to services through our affinity partners who in turn support your alumni association. Finally, being a UIT alumnus or alumna lets you share in the entrepreneurial spirit of UIT. It lets you be part of UIT as it continues to foster innovation and to make a difference in Canada and the world. It keeps you in UIT's light and lets you shine along with your alma mater. So, since everything comes with a price, what do you have to do? First, stay connected. Keep your contact information updated in the alumni directory. Second, come back and see us. Mark your calendars for homecoming on Saturday, October 3rd. We hope you can join us and connect with your fellow alumni. And finally, following this convocation ceremony, join us with your guests at a reception for your faculty just across the street at 61 Charles. That's just a few steps out the east doors of the GM Center. There, I can shake your hand and offer you a job, or maybe just a handshake just for now. The alumni, faculty, and staff would like to congratulate and celebrate with you this important milestone. Please join us now at the reception and see you in the future. Thank you.
May this university provide for all those who seek knowledge and ways to make our world better. May its members continue to address the great questions of tomorrow. May our graduates go forward with inquisitive minds, creative resolve, and warm hearts to truly make a difference in this world. So now I'm going off script. I'm supposed to tell you all to sit in your seats until the faculty and graduate processions have exited convocation. How about y'all stay in your regular sort of areas, and maybe we just make a bit of noise because I'm about to say the last words. Mr. Chancellor, this convocation of the University of Ontario Institute of Technology is now concluded. Congratulations.